Roughly 115 colonists. One word carved into a tree. And then, nothing. This is the oldest missing persons case in America. Picture an entire town. Men, women, children, even a newborn baby, just days old. Then picture all of them simply gone. No struggle, no sign of a fight, nothing left behind but empty houses, and that one strange word. So where did a whole colony go? Well, let's find out. By the end of this case file, we'll lay the evidence on the table, suspect by suspect, and watch it stack toward the single most likely answer. And the newest digs? They may have finally cracked it. Two things to keep in mind. What does that carved word actually mean? And the one tiny detail almost everyone misses, a detail that quietly flips the whole story. To solve a case, you start with the people. So rewind to the summer of 1587. The place, Roanoke Island, a thin strip of land off today's North Carolina on the wild Outer Banks. This is England's first real attempt at a permanent family settlement in the New World, backed by Sir Walter Raleigh. The man in charge on the ground is the governor, John White, a painter, an artist, now somehow a leader. And this is not an army. These are ordinary Londoners. Families who packed up their whole lives and crossed an ocean to start over. White even brought his own daughter, Eleanor. And just weeks after landing, Eleanor gives birth. A little girl, Virginia Dare, traditionally remembered as the first English child born in the Americas. White's granddaughter. Think about that. A brand new baby on a fragile, undersupplied island, thousands of miles from anyone who could help. The colony is hopeful, but it is hanging by a thread. But the colony is short on food, short on supplies, short on time. So the settlers pressure White to do the hardest thing a father can do: sail back to England and leave his family behind. He agrees, planning to return in just a few months. And then history plays the cruelest trick imaginable. The moment White reaches England, the country goes to war. War with Spain. The mighty Spanish Armada is coming, and every able ship is seized for the fight. White is trapped. He begs. He pleads. He scrapes together a tiny rescue mission, and it's attacked at sea and looted before it can even cross. Months turn into years. 1 year, 2, 3. The whole time, his daughter and granddaughter wait on that island, watching an empty horizon for a ship that never comes. Finally, August 1590. 3 long years later, John White's ship reaches Roanoke again. And by pure coincidence, it's the very day Virginia Dare would have turned 3. He steps ashore, heart pounding, and calls out names. Silence. But the settlement is empty. Not destroyed. Empty. The houses have been taken apart, neatly, board by board. The heavier goods, packed and carried away. No struggle. No sign of any fight at all. It's as if everyone simply packed up and walked away. And then he sees it, carved into a tall wooden post, one single word: Croatoan. And on a nearby tree, just 3 letters: C-R-O. White isn't terrified. Strangely, he's almost relieved. So what on earth did it mean? This is the moment we open the case file. So pull up a chair, hit subscribe, and let's work this one together. Because the next clue changes everything. Here's the detail almost everyone misses. Before White ever sailed away, he and the colonists made a secret deal, a code. If they ever had to leave, they would carve the name of where they were going, so White could follow. That part, they did. But there was a second half to the code. If they were ever forced out, leaving in danger, under threat, they would also carve a cross above the word, a clear distress signal. So White searches that post. He searches the tree, and the cross. It isn't there. Read that again. No cross. Which means the most popular version of this story, a colony wiped out in a sudden fight, doesn't fit the evidence they left behind. The carving wasn't a cry for help. It was calm. It was planned. They didn't run. They moved. So if the word wasn't a warning, what was it? Simple. It was an address. Croatoan was a real place. Today we call it Hatteras Island, down the coast to the south. And it was home to the Croatoan people. Out of everyone in this new and dangerous land, they were the colonists' one true ally. Their leader, Manteo, had actually sailed to England and back. He'd walked London streets. He was trusted. So the word on the post was basically a forwarding address. Don't worry, we've gone to our friends. White is ready to sail straight there. And then, the worst timing strikes again. A violent storm slams the coast. Anchor cables snap. The battered crew flat out refuses to risk the trip. White is dragged back to England against his will. He never searches. The answer may have been sitting one island away. So let's do what no one could do in 1590. Let's work the whole board. 5 suspects. Suspect 1. The colony was ended by a hostile group. But remember, no struggle and no cross. The evidence just isn't there. Cross it off. Suspect 2. Nature. And this one's real. Tree rings show that 1587 to 1589 was the worst dry spell on this coast in roughly 800 years. Crops failing, wells running low. That's not how they ended. That's a powerful reason they'd be forced to move. Pin it up. Suspect 3. They tried to sail home and were lost at sea. Possible for a few, but not a tidy, packed-up town. Suspect 4. They moved about 50 miles inland, to allies on the mainland. And Suspect 5, the big one. They walked south and were taken in by the Croatoan people. Now look at the board. The arrows aren't scattering. They're pointing the same way. Not gone. Relocated. Absorbed. The only question left, can we prove it? For centuries, that's where the trail went cold. But here's the thing about cold cases. Sometimes the ground starts talking. Start on Hatteras Island, Croatoan itself. Archaeologists digging there found something remarkable. English objects, buried inside the layers where the Croatoan people actually lived. Not dropped in a field, mixed into daily life. The ornate handle of a 16th century gentleman's blade. A small slate writing tablet, with a faint letter still on it. European-made parts and pottery. Even tiny iron flakes. Possible traces of European-style metalworking. The picture? English settlers, living among the Croatoan for years. Now jump to the mainland. Remember John White was an artist? He drew a map. And centuries later, researchers spotted something hidden under a patch of paper glued onto it. The symbol of a fort. So they dug, and they pulled up English pottery of the right period. A second group, inland. Exactly where the colonists once said they planned to go. So here's the most likely answer. They didn't vanish. They split up, and they survived by joining the people who were already here. Now, the honest part. This isn't a sealed verdict. No single object yet carries a colonist's name. The debate goes on, and one bold claim about on-site smiths still needs more proof. But step back, and the evidence keeps leaning one way. So maybe, just maybe, we've been telling this story wrong from the very start. Maybe lost was always the wrong word. Because if the evidence holds, these people were never truly gone. They didn't vanish into thin air. They made a choice to leave a dying colony and walk toward the people who had been kind to them. And their descendants may have walked the sands of the Outer Banks for generations. Their story quietly braided into the people who were always there. Not a vanishing, a merging. That's the thing this channel keeps finding. The vanished are rarely erased. They're just waiting for someone to look in the right place. If you believe a mystery deserves a real answer, not a ghost story, then you're one of us. Subscribe to Vanished, and you'll never miss a case file. And the next one is already open. Another place, another disappearance, another word carved into history. The case continues, right here.